you can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. From our compound, from the West Coast to the East Coast to worldwide, both on the internet and terrestrial radio, you're listening to Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.
And here I am. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. Well, here it is, 7 o'clock Pacific West Coast time, and we should have Clarence on the phone right now. Clarence, how are you doing, my friend?
Pretty good, Gary. How about yourself?
I am doing really well. And I promise during the show I won't use the word penis more than 3 times tonight.
That's okay. Your show, you talk whatever you want.
I don't know. I don't know if you listened to it the other night, but I made a lot of fun about penises that night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I mentioned the fact that he may have been setting it up like the jelly beans in the jar. You guess how many there are, you know?
Could you imagine, though, somebody, I mean, if it wasn't bad enough that night on the news, right, in the wacky news, that appears, right? The following night, they find thousands of teeth in a wall where somebody had a tooth fetish. I don't know. Or maybe he could have been the real tooth fairy. What do you think, James? It's possible.
That's a good point. I kind of was thinking about that when you mentioned all them teeth, and a friend of mine was messaging me about it's some kind of tooth fairy on steroids or something, you know, just kind of collected all them teeth. That's a lot of teeth.
I don't know. I mean, if they would at least been porcelain, they could have maybe sold them. I don't know. Society is getting weirder. I mean, every night when I read this wacky news, I am surprised we still have a society.
No, I know. It's crazy.
But we're going to blame it all on Clarence.
Hey, why not? I got big shoulders.
So, how's your podcast doing, my friend?
Actually, I'm doing pretty good for the most part, anyway. As you know, I just got it back up and running here shortly. I changed the criteria, you know, as far as I was running it like every other night, and then I was doing live Facebook feeds and stuff like that, and I now changed it so I'm doing live Facebook only on Saturday nights, and then I'm doing the podcast, you know, Monday through Friday. So it's picked up pretty good, and we're doing good.
I think it'll make a big difference on your podcast. Like I told you, I think separating the two, you know, like I have James, we'll go a Facebook Live for like 10 minutes. Once a month, I'll do a Facebook Live for maybe 30 minutes. Other than that, I stay away from it because 2 things will happen. You know, a lot of people on Facebook are the same people that might listen to your show. And they're going to watch you on Facebook and then not listen to you on your podcast. And the bad thing is on Facebook, if you do have somebody it clicks on and they click off right away, you don't know they clicked off. So at the end of the show, I had 500 people watch. Yeah, you might have 500 people click on and then click off, and that's the end of it. I just find that Facebook, that's what happens, and I kind of stay away from it. So Periscope would maybe be a good one for you.
Yeah, I thought about Periscope. I really did. Matter of fact, I was just talking to somebody else about that here just the other day. We're going to them. But as of right now, I am on so many different platforms at once. Well, just like you are, you know. I don't think there's an app out there that we're probably not on right now. So, you know, we definitely, we're out there.
Oh, yeah. I kind of on Apple. I got 2 Apple apps, you know, for the show, you know. So we're streaming on Apple twice, you know, plus 22 radio stations. Another radio station in Bakerfield is going to pick us up on December. We're working on a bunch more. I mean, you know, awesome. We're talking about maybe well over 1 million listeners. Not all listeners, but, you know, some listeners, then downloads and play on demand and all this stuff.
Right.
It's really growing. Right. It's enough now.
You know, that's the thing that really surprised me was the downloads. When I go back in and I look at the stats on some of these shows that I didn't think were worth much, you know what I'm saying? I got tons and tons of downloads. probably more downloads than I do listeners. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
they're listening.
It's just phenomenal.
They listen and they play later on. I mean, I average on one app alone, I average about 68,000 downloads. Then there's another app that it's like over 100,000 downloads. And then there's some apps I'm lucky to get 13 downloads on, because nobody goes to it, So.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's really something. But hey, I appreciate the people that are listening in anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's fantastic. And and like I said, even with the Facebook Live, that's the same thing too. And yeah, you're absolutely right. If somebody comes in, clicks off or whatever, it counts as a view. But I've had some shows I've had over 5,000 viewers with 30 shares of that show. They've taken them to other, wherever they put them on Facebook. And so I was quite surprised that it went over that well,
Well, how long ago was that? Because, Facebook. Now, I talked to one of their executives at Facebook here back, 5-6 months ago. Back a year ago or a year and a half ago, I would do a Facebook Live and I would have average 5,000-10,000 people watching. Then, I noticed it dropped down drastically. I also had a friend that runs the biker radio network. He's also on radio stations plus all this stuff. And we talked a long time ago about the same thing. He had thousands of people every time he went on Facebook Live. All of a sudden it dropped down to a couple hundred. It turns out what I was told by Facebook is what they do is they take your argo. How do you say it, James? Rhythms?
Algorithms.
Yeah, and they take that.
Algorithm, right.
Yeah, they take that and roughly 2 to 3% of all your friends will see what you do. So if you go Facebook Live, if you got 5,000 friends, maybe 30, 40 people will see it.
Just that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Right.
It's not like it used to be. But they got a cure for that. And you know what that cure is?
I do.
It's cost greenbacks. You pay.
The boost.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting I'm getting bombarded with that. Every time I go onto my page, it's always this big message right off the bat. You can boost your post for $15, blah, 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 and we'll give you a $5 credit. And oh, my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, they'll say up to 300 or 400 people will see it. Up to.
Extra people, right.
I did that for almost a year, and the average amount, I would drop $30 a day. And I would sit there and I go, wow, 1,000 or 1,100 people saw it for that. That's crazy.
Well, here's my question is how do you know it even works? How do you know they're not just sitting back collecting the cash and telling you that that's what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought about that and I'm like, I'm not going to worry about it, Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, in this thing, like on one radio station we're on, I pay, or my agent pays, $3,000 a month to be on a particular radio station to carry our.
Sure.
Most of the shows, we don't have to pay. We don't make money. When a radio station carries us, we don't make anything. But we do have advertisers that do advertise on my network. That's where we make money. Now, I don't run the ads on the internet. I'm going to here shortly. I have to. I did a thing for Old Navy here back a couple weeks ago as an experiment. And yeah, I got a lot of complaints from people. Oh, why are you running ads? Well, you don't realize, I have bills to pay. And we're, like I said, we're on one radio station. We have to pay because it's a huge radio station. It has a huge coverage. We pay $3,000 a month for them to carry my show. That's out of my pocket.
That's the thing. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. It's a privilege for us to use their airway. That's the thing. Yeah, it's not like like they're paying you to do it. They make it so it's like take it or leave it. One of them kind of things. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, the rest of the stations, we don't have to pay them anything, and we do make a little bit of money because of our advertisers and stuff that go on, through the network that gets played. Sure. Well, I'm playing the music, they're running commercials. They're running my commercials. They're running their commercials. You don't hear that. But, that's where we make our money. But, I mean, to go from like I was mentioning earlier, from 15 listeners to 1 million plus, people don't realize, like I spend 5 to 8 hours every night responding to emails from all the people that every day, send me emails.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't get quite that many emails. I get my share, though, I'll tell you what. And there's times when I just fall asleep on the computer trying to answer them, And sometimes I have to let it go, for days at a time, and then I'm really swamped. So it's like, yeah, I totally understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Oh, yeah. So UFOs, I want your theory on UFOs. I listened to part of your podcast that one day, and I buy some of the stuff you say. I'm going to be honest, Clarence, some of it I don't buy because, I've been in this for a long time. I am very well connected in the ufology community out there. I probably hear things a lot sooner than a lot of people do. But what is your theory about UFOs? If they're, actually from out there, or are they from here? Are they doing time travel or to another parallel universe, or what? What do you? I want your feelings.
I'm not sure what show you were listening to, but
it was the one you posted up last week.
Oh, about my new theory on the portals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a little different. That really wasn't about UFOs, even though it's tied into the UFO thing, But that was more about time travel and people disappearing and stuff like that, and out of body experiences and stuff, And I think I came up with a theory to explain all that stuff, Well,
what is your theory? I want to hear that. And the listeners want to hear it.
Okay. Well, basically, I'll give you the short end of the stick, so to speak, on this. But it's been, well, if you, I had like 6 different things that I had wrote down. I remember listening to, a number of radio shows and podcasts talk about like people disappearing and different things like that. And so I sat down and I wrote down things like deja vu, spontaneous human combustion, strange disappearances, near-death and out-of-body experiences, missing time, and the triple number ordeal that people have, the 111, the 222s and stuff like that. And I came up with this idea, theory, whatever you want to call it, that each individual, you, myself, James, Sam, everybody, has a certain degree of energy in your body, okay? And depending on where you are around the world or where you are at the time that this happens, that you open what I call a personal portal. And believe it or not, and you can look this up, there are 6 different type of wormholes that scientific community has come up with. And depending on the wormhole that you use or are into, falls into one of these 6 categories that happens to you. And that's basically what it's all about.
Interesting. Well, okay, but how do you manifest a portal? How do they appear? That's my question.
Well, we know that the Earth and that, has a lot of electronic charges going on and stuff like that. There's a lot of places here